You're watching Choice TV, the people's choice for TV. This segment of the news brought to you by Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need. Hello everyone, welcome to Choice News Now Prime. I'm Shane Cherry. Watch the broadcast live on our Choice TV Facebook page, Choice TV SLU, and our YouTube channel at Choice TV St. Lucia, or listen to the simulcast through on Liberty Radio 92.3 FM. In the news tonight, school support workers received their August salaries ahead of the new school year. The CDF's Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt returns, challenging participants to discover St. Lucia's history through an interactive journey. The Northern Division Combined Schools Choir Auditions aims to discover young talent and strengthen St. Lucia's choral tradition. And in news from the region, Antigua's cabinet amends a major prison rule, changing how good behavior remission recommendations are considered for new prisoners. In our top story tonight, school support workers across St. Lucia are heading into the new academic year with some welcome financial relief, as the government has delivered on its commitment to pay their August salaries ahead of the reopening of schools. Cooks, janitors, and other ancillary staff received their salaries this week, providing timely assistance as families contend with the mounting expenses of the back-to-school season and underscoring government's stated commitment to supporting the workers who help keep the nation's schools running. Kishana Smith begins our newscast.
There was a welcome boost for scores of school support workers this week as the government of St. Lucia, through the Ministry of Education, delivered on a promise to ensure they received their August salaries ahead of the new academic year 2026-2027 after the island's Education Minister Honorable Kenson Kazimi gave assurances that arrangements had been made to facilitate the disbursement of August salaries to ancillary staff attached to schools across the island. And just days later, that promise materialized. On Wednesday, August 20th, eligible school support staff, including cooks, janitors, and other workers serving in various secondary schools, received their August salaries during an official ceremony held at the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School's auditorium. Minister for Education Honorable Kenson Kazimi expressed his fulfillment with the initiative, highlighting that it stands as a testament to the people-centered initiatives explored by the government of St. Lucia.
So I am happy that today, that when you consult your bank accounts, that I can go to Grosley Daycare and get a nice drink. Whether it's a bottle of water or a ting or a shandy or a ginger ale like the Prime Minister suggests. That the cook at the daycare, that the cleaners and the janitors can say, here you go, young man, I have already started buying the books and the uniform and the school shoes for my children. Thank you to the government of St. Lucia.
Minister within the Ministry of Education, Honorable Danny Butcher, drew on his own experience as the son of a janitor, noting that he understands well the sacrifices and challenges associated with supporting a family while striving to pursue one's aspirations.
I have said proudly, repeatedly, and unapologetically that I am the son of a janitor. I know what it means when the livelihood of a family depends on a paycheck coming at the end of a month. I know that behind every worker is a family, children, responsibilities, and dreams. And after listening to this conversation, your government went to work. Your government listened, and your government, the government of St. Lucia, went to work. Your Prime Minister went to work. A Prime Minister that cares about the people, who's moved by the real needs and anxieties of our citizens. He listened and he went to work. And today, I am proud to report that every daily paid worker will receive their salary for the summer months.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip J. Pierre in his remarks reflected on the demanding working conditions once endured by ancillary staff, recalling a time when these workers were expected to fulfill challenging responsibilities with little or no compensation.
And the very fact that you worked your entire life and those before you work their entire life cleaning, as janitors, as cooks, as early childhood educators, and for the month of August, they had to make a sacrifice, stay without pay, but still come to clean before school opens. And you showed that level of personal responsibility, that level of commitment to the development of St. Lucia, that you did that. I am proud of you.
For workers who depend on their monthly earnings to meet household expenses, the timely payment comes at a particularly important period, with families preparing for the start of another school year. The development also signals the ministry's efforts to ensure that the men and women who play an important role in keeping schools functioning are not left waiting for their earnings as the new academic year gets underway. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Heights Medical Complex is acknowledging concerns over the public perception of the Owen King EU Hospital, admitting that the institution has developed a reputation that will not be changed overnight. He says rebuilding public confidence will require more than promises, pointing instead to sustained improvements in healthcare delivery, greater investment, and a long-term commitment to addressing the concerns of patients and the wider public. Kishana Smith tells us more.
The Owen King EU Hospital continues to face challenges in its public image, with the Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Heights Medical Complex conceding that there is a perception among members of the public that the facility is falling short of expectations. But according to the MHMC CEO, transforming that perception will not happen overnight.
We have issues. We can never walk around and say we don't have issues. There are issues that we need to take care of. But one of the things I want people to understand, it doesn't happen overnight.
The comments come amid continued scrutiny of the quality and efficiency of healthcare services at the Owen King EU Hospital, with patients and members of the wider public expressing concerns about their experiences at the facility. He acknowledged that, like any organization, OKEU has its shortcomings. However, he pointed out that people often complain, cry out and speak loudly about negative experiences, while sometimes overlooking or failing to recognize the positive aspects of the organization.
You know, organizations have a particular culture. You understand? Even HCS has a particular culture. Even DBS has a particular culture. It doesn't change overnight. There's no magic wand to say, we're changing this right there. Wham, by changer. That's not how it happens. So we are doing it gradually. Customer relations, we're looking at that. We're looking at all of the issues that lead to people's negative perception of the hospital. And I would say to you, I'll be the first to say to you, that maybe we should communicate more. Maybe more press conferences. Go out and speak to people about what is going on. Let people understand, because I dare say, you hear a lot of the negative, but there's a lot of positive going on here, my brother. A lot of positive, and we get the kudos. I can tell you last week, somebody said, wow, we got 5-star treatment here. But does it reach the media? Not necessarily.
The Millennium Heights Medical Complex Administration says it understands the concerns and recognizes that rebuilding public confidence is an important part of improving the overall patient experience. However, the CEO is stressing that meaningful change requires time and a sustained commitment to improving systems, services, and patient care. As efforts continue to strengthen the facility, the MHMC leadership is asking the public to recognize that while there is still work to be done, improvements are being pursued. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
Former Acting Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mario Michel, has shed new light on his decision to retire in 2025, addressing speculation that had circulated in St. Lucia about the reasons behind his departure. In an interview on Untold Stories, Michel reflected on his tenure, raising concerns about public understanding about the judiciary's role in governance, the processes surrounding the appointment of chief justices, and tensions that emerged between the judiciary and Eastern Caribbean heads of government. Sienna Dalson tells us more.
In a two-part documentary by Untold Stories, former Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court Acting Chief Justice and beloved former St. Lucian politician Mario Michel detailed his career from his youth till his retirement last year. Michel spoke about his tenure at the helm of the EC Supreme Court from the 3rd of May 2024 to the same date in 2025, the pinnacle of a career as a judge that stationed him in courts throughout the sub-region in Anguilla, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Lucia. Former Justice Michel described his ascension to the ECSC's leadership, having been unanimously recommended by a search committee tasked with identifying the Chief Justice meant to follow Dame Janice Pereira. And despite this recommendation, Eastern Caribbean heads of government were not as decisive, albeit one head in particular.
We have a system where the appointment of a Chief Justice must be approved by the unanimous, but must receive the unanimous approval of the 9 heads of state or government of the territories. And one person decided that Mario Michel should not be Chief Justice. So there being a vacancy in the office by virtue of the previous Chief Justice retiring and no new appointment having been made by the head of government, so the Judicial Legal Services Commission then appoints somebody to act. And so I was appointed to act Chief Justice.
From the outset of this promotion, Michel says he had no intention of remaining within the given acting position without a change of opinion on the part of the opposing Prime Minister.
But yeah, in the end I decided I'm not going to sit in the office of acting Chief Justice on any indefinite basis. I'm not going to be a Brian Aline who was acting Chief Justice and retired as acting Chief Justice after 3 years because one Prime Minister decided that Brian Aline should not be Chief Justice. I'm not putting myself there.
Michel said the unnamed Prime Minister may have opposed his appointment due to a judgment he delivered. That is, a decision he maintains that he neither regrets nor apologizes for.
I wrote a judgment that the Prime Minister didn't like, put it that way. Let me put it most casually. Yeah, I wrote a judgment he didn't like. And so he decided that I should not be the Chief Justice. I put it as his most basic and most casual.
When asked whether he supports a framework requiring unanimous approval from all 9 EC heads of government for a permanent Chief Justice appointment, Michel acknowledged the mechanism's validity despite the potential for one Prime Minister to block it.
So, how can you be my Chief Justice when I do not approve of you? In other words, forget the fact that you are these 8 other people's Chief Justice. You are going to be my Chief Justice, but I do not support you. So it's a kind of thing to justify why there's there must be a unanimous position, because lack of unanimity means that a particular country cannot support somebody to be that country's Chief Justice, and yet that person becomes that country's Chief Justice because the other countries want him to be their Chief Justice.
This revelation comes at a uniquely trying period for Eastern Caribbean judges, as well as members of the Caribbean Court of Justice. One EC head of government has been embroiled in escalating statements of denouncement and condemnation, ranging from its National Bar Association to associations of Commonwealth judges and magistrates, and most recently, Commonwealth lawyers, for comments viewed as threats to the nation's judiciary, highlighting a growing need for governmental powers that reinforce one another in as much as they keep each other accountable. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalsor.
Coming up, the CDF's Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt returns, taking participants on an interactive journey through St. Lucia's history, and the Northern Division Combined Schools Choir auditions seek to discover young vocal talent and strengthen the island's choral tradition. There's stories and more coming up after the break. Stay with us. The news continues.
It's all about you and the dreams you've believed, how you made your way ahead, all the goals you have achieved.
All along the way, you've been a partner so true, all the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. It's still about you and the life you're shaping now, all the doors that open wide, every step, every vow.
All along the way, you'll be a partner so true. All the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. We're the Bank of St. Lucia. So bank on your future. We're the Bank of St. Lucia. All the bank you need.
Celebrating 25 years strong. Bank of St. Lucia. All the bank you need.
In the blink of an eye, the rain can transform everything. St. Lucia's rainy season is growing more intense, bringing floods, landslides, and damage to our homes and infrastructure. Flooding can damage our water supply, making clean water hard to find when we need it most. But we can prepare. Keep our waterways clean, keep drains clear, install and protect your water tanks, and collect potable water. WASCO is on the front line, ready to protect our water. But we need your support to keep our system strong. Water is life. Let's protect it, secure our water, and secure our future. For more information, call 457-3900 or visit wascostlucia.com.
Welcome back. Following its postponement last week due to the weather, the Cultural Development Foundation is set to stage the second annual Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt, bringing history to life through an interactive journey across St. Lucia. Speaking exclusively with Choice TV, the CDF's creative producer outlined the significance and expected impact of the event, while the defending champions from last year's inaugural hunt shed tips for navigating the challenges, beating the competition, and experiencing St. Lucia's rich history along the way. Sienna Dalson reports.
The teams from all around St. Lucia were ready to out-navigate and outmaneuver their competition at the island-wide Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt, originally slated for 6 a.m. Saturday the 15th of August 2026. However, due to inclement weather and expectations of the passage of a tropical weather system over that weekend, the activity was postponed with advice from the Met Office and as part of the Cultural Development Foundation's utmost concern for safety. It was rescheduled to Sunday the 23rd of August, allowing a window for more teams to register and allowing participants time to sharpen their historical knowledge and navigation skills in preparation. CDF creative producer Junior Frederick spoke to the impact that the foundation hopes to see from this activity, describing it as a day for family and friendship where historical knowledge is paired with immersive experiences that place St. Lucia in a different light.
Understanding where plantations were and where, in terms of where the formerly enslaved, most of those settlements were, and the key, what I call vestiges of the plantation system, what's left, so people can explore that and realize the significance of some areas and maybe why this area is called that particular name. So it's really about the historical context, and I can tell you that it is really centered around the information and that education, and at the same time people have loads of fun.
Aaron Alexander, Ras Iron, spoke as the captain of the team of defending champions, the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari and Pan-African People, ICAR Inc. He gave a few tips to gain an edge in the competition and further advocated for safety on the road.
It is very good for you to know the history. You know, it's good for you to know places in St. Lucia as well where some historical things took place. It's very important that you know how to get to those places as well, because some of these places are kind of remote. So you have to know how to get to those areas. You have to ensure your team members are also very helpful. Everything cannot be on the shoulder of one person, even though you might be the captain of the team. But all team members have to be able to contribute.
CAR is preparing to put up some strong defense of their title as the inaugural champions.
So we're going to give it our best, you know. We've been doing our own history lessons, you know. We have a professor who's working with us, so we're really getting ready for this, you know. We're preparing for this, you know. So people have to prepare, you know, and I want to employ the young people to get involved as well. You know the history of your island, you know, and appreciate it. And even on the treasure hunt, you know, you get to see the beauty of St. Lucia as well, places you never knew, you know, and when you see the landscape, you know, from different viewpoints, you know, sometimes you're on top of a hill and you look down into a valley, you know.
Frederick gave some perspective to the historical treasure hunt's placement within the Emancipation celebrations for 2026.
Emancipation in St. Lucia is a movement rather than what you can think of it as a festival. It is not. It is a movement. It is a movement geared at celebration, the end and abolition of slavery, and two, it is about understanding who we are and dealing with the past and looking forward to the future in terms of how do you deal with the images of the past and make it better for our future.
Viewers from St. Lucia and around the world can follow the Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt live on the CDF and Government of St. Lucia Facebook pages and YouTube channels. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalso.
A 14-member St. Lucian delegation has returned from a 10-day exchange in Guadeloupe, where local officials and cultural representatives worked to strengthen regional cooperation in city twinning, economic development, and disaster management. Hosted by CORECA, the exchange is expected to open new opportunities for St. Lucian agricultural products, strengthen joint disaster and earthquake response capabilities, and expand cultural and artistic exchanges between the two islands. Phoebe Popo reports.
From shared culture roots to common disaster risks, the ties between St. Lucia and its French Caribbean neighbors are being strengthened. From August 7th to the 17th, a 14-member delegation representing the Castries constituency and the Association St. Lucie French Territories of the Americas traveled to Guadeloupe for an intensive diplomatic and cultural mission. The exchange focused on practical areas of cooperation, including town twinning, cultural and performance exchanges, breadfruit commercialization, and coordinated approach to seismic and natural disaster risk preparedness. Stephen Edman, interim chairman of the Association St. Lucie French Territories of the Americas, outlines the association's primary objectives.
Every year, the Association St. Lucie Territoires for Amérique does a summer tour which allows us to go to one of the French territories to do exchanges with different stakeholders in different territories. For example, we've done Martinique, we've done France, but this year we did Guadeloupe, and we were assisted by CORECA, Caribbean Contact Research, who helped organize our itinerary from the 7th to the 17th of August.
Talks focus on transforming breadfruit into a key commercial asset through targeted regional trade agreements between St. Lucia and partner Caribbean nations.
This is an association which has a very keen interest in Fuyape, as we know in St. Lucia, Moape or breadfruit. And this association aim is to foster the preservation, the education, and the possibility of the economic benefits of breadfruit in Guadeloupe, and also partnering with other Caribbean countries, including Antigua, Barbados, I think Dominican Republic, and many others. And they're also now trying to reach out to St. Lucia. One of their keen interests is also knowing that they heard that we export breadfruit, and they want to know what is our policy on the preservation, the education, and the economic benefit of breadfruit in St. Lucia. So that definitely is a question for the Ministry of Agriculture, which we will be reaching out to the different parties, especially when we get official correspondence from Nouvelle Voie.
The bilateral mission secures shared seismic risk protocols and upcoming local safety training to boost St. Lucia's earthquake preparedness.
The aim is to reach out to the fire service and NEMO in order to devise a training where we have a delegation which will be coming to St. Lucia at a designated time to train disaster preparedness, first responders in the case of earthquakes and other seismic issues that may involve buildings collapsing, and there is specialized equipment that can be used to help save lives and to help retrieve persons' belongings as well as, unfortunately, if there are bodies, etc.
To keep moving forward, Edmund urged residents and local groups to share their needs directly, ensuring future initiatives truly address community priorities.
What we want is some letters, emails that would, outline some of their desires, and then we will now put it into action. For example, we have delegations who are coming for Journée Creole. We have the hairdressers, Caribbean Hairdressing Federation. They were here last year and they did an exchange with different hairdressers, learning different techniques and also sharing their techniques with hairdressers. So
as St. Lucia and Guadeloupe look to solidify these joint agreements, the focus now shifts to turning these discussions into everyday realities for citizens on both islands. Whether through expanded trade opportunities for local farmers, safer opportunities built on shared seismic data, or new stages for local artists, this partnership underscores a growing reality. Our regional strength lies in working together. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
This is Choice News Now Prime. More news coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Life is full of tough choices. This one shouldn't be one of them. Wait, 9 pieces for $35? That's crazy. But do I need KFC today? I mean, I had it. When did I last have KFC? Oh yeah, that was a good day. Okay, wait. If I don't buy it, someone else will. And what if they take the last bucket? Yep, right decision. Definitely right decision.
KFC Crazy Tuesday, because some deals are too good to resist.
What lies below St. Lucia? Witness the unveiling of St. Lucia's first underwater sculpture park, a journey through our history and identity, from our first settlers through colonial conflict, enslavement, and resistance to the remarkable persons who shaped our country. St. Lucia, come see the legends, a work of art. The National Exhibition for St. Lucia's Underwater Sculpture Park will be held on August 29th and 30th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Warehouse across the Otsa playing field. Admission is free. Come witness the sculptures before they take their final place below St. Lucia. Follow the Below St. Lucia social media pages for more information.
Welcome back. The Northern Division Combined Schools Choir is using music to nurture young talent, build confidence, and create a sense of community among students across St. Lucia. At auditions held at the Anglican Church Annex in Castries, aspiring young singers were given an opportunity to showcase their voices and become part of an initiative that goes beyond performance, providing a supportive environment where youth can develop their skills, form lasting connections, and keep St. Lucia's choral tradition alive. Phoebe Popo tells us more.
A combined schools choir does far more than blend harmonizing voices. It serves as a vital social bridge, uniting diverse communities, fostering youth development, and creating shared cultural experiences that bring families, schools, and local organizations together. Carrying that vision forward, the Northern Division Combined Schools Choir hosted auditions at the Anglican Church Annex in Castries to scout fresh vocal talent and keep the island's rich choral culture alive. Slated to commence at 10 a.m., the open call invited interested students alongside their parents to explore a positive extracurricular outlet designed not only to refine music ability, but to build a safe, supportive family for young performers outside the classroom.
This morning, we have the second round of auditions. Of course, the first round of auditions happened in the south of the island on Wednesday, 19th of August. And now we're having the Northern Division auditions, and that is happening at the Anglican Church Annex, which is the home of the National Combined Schools Choir. So we have 28 students that have registered to be a part of the choir, and I have to see, so far we've been having some very, very, very good auditions. So again, the future is bright for music, the future is bright for singing, the future is bright for choral music, with the amount of interest that we have seen the National Combined Schools Choir gather over the last few years.
Amelia Shitoli described the auditions as highly encouraging and expressed optimism about achieving strong results.
I am pretty excited to be here. I really hope that I do get in with my talent. My father told me to always use my talent for the better, and I really think that coming here, I think I have a second chance at doing that, and I'm really hoping I make it.
Parent Andrew Chitoli emphasized the importance of enrolling youth in choir, noting that singing helps young people discover their voice far beyond just musical performance.
Well, the thing is, I am quite excited because my daughter used to be in the choir before, and she dropped out. So I had to lay the law and put the stick down as a father. And I wish there were many other fathers who would do that and drag her here to make sure that she is participating in something this is worthwhile. I think this is something that is excellent for the kids, excellent for young people, so they can develop themselves. Because you never know when they're going to use their voice, you know, whether it is, you know, as a means of income, whether it is, you know, as a means of developing other students, maybe other persons, you know, giving back to the community through their voice. There's a lot that can be done. And I think this is a great stepping stone towards, you know, elevating the youth at that level.
Beyond preserving local musical heritage, the Northern Division Combined Schools Choir offers a vital sanctuary for youth. By turning a shared passion into a true sense of belonging, the initiative continues to build a stronger, more unified community, one harmony at a time. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
Recent videos of altercations in St. Lucia have sparked concern over the way conflicts are handled in our communities. We took to the streets to hear from St. Lucians on how we can move away from confrontation and find more peaceful, amicable ways to resolve our differences. Here's what the people had to say.
Where it took a village to raise a child. Today we don't have that same kind of mentality. Today everybody thinks only of themselves. You have a situation where a child is disciplined in the school, what happens? The parent comes to the school, try to fight with the teacher rather than try and find out why the child was disciplined. And these are the same children that are growing up today with that same mentality that the parents of today are instilling in them. So they exhibit those kind of mentality on the streets too when they dispute among themselves. That's what happens.
I mean, I experienced it on the street. It is so, people are so quick sometimes. The slightest thing, it's already bothering them and they're ready for action. I think we should just learn to practice more love amongst ourselves, naturally show love towards each other. And I think God plays an essential role in this too, because without God there is no love. And there's so many people who nowadays, they don't really care, they have a flippant view about God. And so for them, they just do anything anyhow. It's anything or anything. That's our national anthem sometimes. So I think we need to move away from this anything or anything ideology and really start to learn to practice love towards each other.
We as adults, we're not supposed to fight crime with crime. What we have to do in situations like that, most times you can avoid it, but if it comes to you, because sometimes trouble comes to you, you can either think of what you're doing before you do it. With me, I normally count backwards from 9 to 1. And it will give you enough time to think of the consequence, because if people was thinking about the consequence before they did what they do, they would not do these things I'm seeing on social media and on a daily basis, because crime is something that's not good. To stop crime is not taking a weapon and hurt somebody else or killing a person. To stop crime, me personally, is to seek God.
So where we have to go back to we loving. So the love have to come back in the home, where from our children, in fact in the womb, seeing mother and father loving each other. And in the politics also, even though you have to see it. Every time we come, you have to see love. Because as we rightfully say, if I see two brothers from the community, they're fighting, me there on the end have to stand and say, me say, stop that, guys, so we can live in love and ways to solve it. You understand? So that's how I see it. Yeah? It have to come back to love in the home first off, because you see the home is the foundation. So if we can bring back love in the home, that will change a lot of things in the society also.
The children from the 2000 upward, you find these children, they're very violent. And you find what they're doing, the way to solve their problem is to kill one another instead of going down on their knees and pray and ask God to, because He is the problem solver. Ask God to solve their problem. They prefer to take it in their hands, and by killing one another, injuring one another, and whereby you find they bring in the nation down. So, as I keep saying, the Bible said, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and turn from their sins and turn back to God, we will have a better nation.
The news continues after the break of PR Daily. Stay with us.
We could do something with that extra space downstairs.
You mean where your 25-year-old nephew refuses to leave?
Stop it, Eddie. I mean, the actual space. Fresh paint, new furniture.
An eviction notice?
We could fix it up properly, okay?
Okay, turn it into a rental. Make some extra money. I just don't want a second mortgage.
It's not a second mortgage. HomeFlex gives you a $50,000 line of credit using the freed up value in your home. You use what you need and pay down what you use over time. You can also use it for investments or even pay for your vacation.
And when is your vacation here ending?
Ask about a BOSL HomeFlex line of credit today.
Auntie, call me when food ready.
BOSL HomeFlex. Unlock your home's potential.
Massey Stores Waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Stores City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Courts presents their 2026 all-range event, Be Inspired, at all Court stores nationwide. Come see what's new in everyday furniture and appliances. Get a chance to win an Indorama 30-inch stove with appliance purchase of $5,999 or more. Great deals on TVs and wall mounts. Everyday great value on mattresses. Bedroom bundle deals up to 25% off. Be Inspired at the Courts 2026 all-range event. Affordable convenience for your home. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends July 25th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Choice News Now Prime. Here's PR Daily with Kishana Smith.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PR Daily, your trusted source for the latest press releases, important announcements, community initiatives, and events. I am your presenter, Kishana Smith. The Environmental Health Division of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition recently hosted a development plan appraisal workshop to strengthen the capacity of environmental health officers and improve collaboration with the Ministry of Physical Planning. The training focused on enhancing officers' ability to assess development plans, identify potential public health risk, and provide sound technical recommendations while supporting greater efficiency in the appraisal process. More in this report.
The Environmental Health Division of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition recently hosted a developmental plan appraisal workshop aimed at strengthening the assessment of proposed development projects and ensuring that potential public health risks are identified before construction begins. A development plan is a set of documents submitted for review before a building or other development project is undertaken. These plans typically outline important details such as the proposed location, layout, design, and intended use of the development. They are reviewed by relevant agencies to help ensure that projects meet planning, environmental, and public health requirements. Senior Environmental Health Officer Glenda Etienne Sipal explains that the training is intended to strengthen the knowledge of officers and provide greater clarity in carrying out developmental plan assessments.
What we've recognized within the department is that we've had a lot of officers with the institutional knowledge who would have already retired, and we have a younger generation of officers coming into the division. We're giving them that level of knowledge so that they now can go into the field with a level of clarity and confidence when doing these assessments. We also have the physical planning development as part who have joined our training. They also will get a level of knowledge that will benefit them in their field as well. And we're also hoping that we have that level of exchange, information exchange between the two agencies. That's an opportunity for us to sit and share what issues that we're having while we're on the field so that we can possibly correct it.
The Senior Environmental Health Officer says the training is also expected to improve the efficiency of the developmental plan appraisal process.
One of the things we're hoping is when you look at turnaround time, when you look at the amount of time, because we are mandated under the law for applications to take about 31 days for processing. We're hoping that this training will enable us to go through the process seamlessly to reduce the number of days that plans stay within our office, and also to allow our officers to make technically sound recommendations as relates to development in St. Lucia.
Cephas Faisal, a building officer in the Ministry of Physical Planning, who also participated in the workshop, says it provided an important opportunity for both agencies to better understand each other's processes and strengthen collaboration in the appraisal of development applications.
Well, it's part of our appraising process that we need the health applications, so some enlightenment on the process that they go through would help us a lot, because, you know, it's a different department. So, and we basically liaise together because we need the health application approval first before we appraise any application. So it kind of coincides together.
The training workshop also highlights the important role of environmental health officers in the developmental plan appraisal process. Their technical assessments and recommendations can help ensure that developments meet appropriate health and environmental standards and contribute to safer communities. From the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition, I am Onika McCoy.
The General Credit Cooperative Union hosted its annual scholarship award ceremony last week for the children of its members entering secondary school. The program has been running for over 40 years and has recently awarded 12 students with full scholarships and 8 with financial grants.
It was a celebration of community pride as members, board of directors, parents, and guardians, alongside a special group of young scholars, all gathered at the General Credit Union last week in honor of the institution's annual presentation of scholarships and bursaries. The program, which spans for over 4 decades, provides 12 scholarships and 8 bursaries to the children of its members who successfully completed their CPEA and CSEC exams every year. According to President of the Board of Directors, Thalassa Cox, today is not about financial statements. It's about how the credit union's performance and endurance in the market can feed, nurture, and support its members and the youth, by extension, who are the future of St. Lucia.
The theme today is We Excel Together. And JANU is built on a cooperative DNA. Essentially, it means that we are a community, a gathering of persons with a collective interest. And that interest, although founded in civil servants, is essentially the backbone of the workers, the public servants, the civil servants, and their family, who are here, who collect, save, and borrow with pride, and who are then able to reinvest in ourselves, which is you as well.
Member Services Manager Olive Sentville reminded students and parents of the eligibility requirements to maintain support from the program.
We expect the baseline for your performance will be demonstrated through your 5 years of academics, and we expect you to maintain a GPA of at least 75% for students who receive scholarship and a 55% for those who receive the financial grant we refer to as a bursary. So it works out to be a 3.5% GPA for scholarships and a 2.5 GPA for bursary holders.
According to officials, the scholarships will assist recipients for their entire 5 years at secondary school, while the financial grants will offer aid only for a one-year period, but will continue based on the level of performance thereafter. After 5 years of being a scholarship recipient with JANU, Miss Malia Lura was excited to tell her young scholars what the opportunity truly meant to her.
This scholarship represented so much more than financial assistance. It was an investment in my education, but perhaps even more importantly, it was a reminder that someone believed in my ability to succeed. Knowing that there were people willing to support and invest in my future gave me an additional sense of motivation and responsibility throughout my secondary school journey.
Director of the Scholarship and Bursary Committee, Ms. Lisa Goodman, encouraged the scholarship recipients with a few words of wisdom.
Remember that this award is not the finish line. It is your new starting point. Continue to dream boldly, work diligently, and serve humbly. Let your education be the tool not only for your personal success, but also for making a positive difference in the lives of others. Wherever your journey takes you, carry with you the values of integrity, excellence, and service.
Officials at the JANU Credit Union firmly believe that an individual student's academic triumph is not achieved through a vacuum, but instead built on a collaborative effort that spans every household, community, cooperative family, and all of St. Lucia by extension. The financial institution is truly proud of its ongoing initiative, which has awarded over 1,000 scholarships to students to aid with their secondary and tertiary education.
That's all for today's edition of PR Daily. If you have a press release that you want to share with our audience, send us an email at news.choicemedianetwork@gmail.com. Thank you for watching PR Daily, and do stay tuned for more news and updates. Back to you, Sheen.
Thank you, Kishana. Let's now take a look at the local weather forecast.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Mwen chosu buda mi baba de mwen aja kremi mwen pase immigration nga kowe police try chebe mwen hawa ki bay mwen fi reste seul match
la jamo vle nga fa comme bobol comme
people who know me look at me as being a humble little guy, you know.
Chova ba min lady madi se kuma se bay mun to hay
mwen ou pa fe mwen pa fe hello excuse me I'm back.
Voice of the People, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Choice TV.
St. Lucia Cruise Port advises the public that the sidewalk along the Vendors Arcade, bordering the John Compton Highway and Jeremy Streets, will be temporarily restricted to facilitate the construction of the new Vendors Arcade. There will be no pedestrian throughway from the newly constructed boardwalk to La Place Carénage during this time. Pedestrians are advised to use the walkway adjacent to the Castries Market and subway. Directional signage and safety barriers will be installed to guide foot traffic and ensure public safety. St. Lucia Cruise Port asks all road users to remain alert, exercise caution when navigating the area, follow posted instructions, and cooperate with on-site personnel. St. Lucia Cruise Port apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Welcome back. Here's Sienna Danson with our regional news package.
Welcome to the regional news package. I'm your presenter, Sienna Dalso. In Antigua and Barbuda, the process for reducing prisoners' sentences for good behavior is being changed. Amendments have been made to the Prison Rule 211, with the Governor General now to consider recommendations from the prison superintendent for the remission of sentences. This change is said to only be applicable to new prisoners and will not be retroactive. We hear more from Shanakisha Francis with ABS News.
New prisoners entering His Majesty's prison will no longer automatically qualify for unconditional release after serving 2/3 of their sentence. Cabinet has approved an amendment to 211 of the prison rules, changing the process through which remission is granted. The prison superintendent will now make a recommendation, with the final determination moving to the Governor General.
The prison superintendent, who normally has the powers to grant a third remission, a third of the sentence offered by the court off for any prisoner, that no longer is his responsibility. It now means that the superintendent will make a recommendation to the Governor General where a prisoner is considered suitable for remission.
Merchant says the new rule is already in effect and applies to new prisoners entering the system from August 19.
So under the new arrangements approved and signed off by the Cabinet Secretary yesterday, which means it becomes a part of the regulations now, and these new regulations will only affect new prisoners. It's not retroactive.
Government says the previous arrangement could have resulted in some offenders serving significantly less than the sentence originally imposed.
The courts have that ability to reduce whatever the sentence is by 1/3. The superintendent also has the ability to reduce it by another 1/3. And so a prisoner can end up serving only 1/3 of any prescribed sentence within the prison, and the government believes that that can become a problem.
Cabinet says the change introduces an additional level of consideration into the process while preserving remission as an incentive for good conduct. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
Grenada's Ministry of Health has offered an update on the nation's progress towards establishing a national hospital authority. Health Minister Philip Telesford says the initiative is expected to transform healthcare delivery and improve the way that public hospitals respond to patient needs. We hear more from Shania McIntosh with GBN News.
The Ministry of Health is advancing plans for the statutorization of Grenada's public hospital and related health facilities. Minister for Health Philip Telesford described the initiative as a transformative step that will reshape the future of healthcare delivery across Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique.
Statutorization is about liberation. Liberating our hospitals to function with agility, efficiency, and responsiveness that our population deserves in the 21st century.
Minister Telesford says statutorization is necessary because for too long, the nation's hospitals have operated under constraints that limit their ability to respond swiftly and effectively to the healthcare needs of patients.
It means maintenance issues addressed promptly rather than languishing in bureaucratic queues. It means clinical decisions made by clinicians and managerial decisions made by competent administrators with healthcare expertise.
A hospital statutorization transition team of HSTT made up of professional Grenadian nationals appointed by Cabinet is overseeing the transition of public hospitals and related health facilities to a new statutory governance framework. Chairperson of the HSTT, Lucia Andel, outlined the team's progress, including updates on its establishment, functioning, and accomplishments since its appointment.
Over the last 16 months, HSTT has held more than 30 team meetings and undertaken in-depth analyses of the current operational situation of the public hospitals and other health facilities earmarked for statutorization.
The ministry says the transition represents a major milestone for Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique, with the overreaching goal of strengthening healthcare delivery and ensuring the country hospitals are better positioned to meet the needs of patients. Reporting for GBN News, Shania McIntosh.
And finally, in Barbados, a call has been made for an earlier launch of the Crop Over Festival. This recommendation was put forward by the Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for youth and culture, Senator Shane Archer.
During his address, the minister emphasized the importance of the festival to the community and expressed the belief that an earlier start could enhance cultural engagement and provide greater opportunities for youth participation throughout the event. He told the gathering Barbados is missing out on a lot.
Launching a festival in April and starting it 2 or 3 months after that means that we are not really catching the persons, and when I say persons, I mean the tourists and the persons that are maybe second and third generation Barbadians that live overseas. We are not capturing them because then they have already bought their flights, they have already set their pace for their summer. So I think that we need to launch Crop Over way earlier so that we can capture more persons. And I say all of this to say this, and this year I don't take credit for what has increased this year because I don't think that some of the stuff that we would have implemented would have gone that far. I think it is the work of the former minister and the foundation over the last few years.
The minister says the ministry, the National Cultural Foundation and stakeholders will be collaborating on the initiative to help Barbados return to its former cultural prominence.
Barbados must return to be the top festival in the Caribbean when it's Crop Over time. We must return to where we were in the early 2000s and 2010s so that we will work alongside the stakeholders and ensure and put the stuff together to ensure that Barbados returns to where it once was.
The minister says details illustrated how the diverse and engaging lineup of activities attracted a broader audience, contributing to a vibrant and well-supported celebration throughout the duration of the festival. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
And that's all for the regional news package. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Sienna. Our final segment coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
Massey Stores Waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Stores City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Every building pulses with its own life and energy. Let's ensure yours shines with health and vitality. Lewis Industries infuses life into every corner of your buildings with tailored cleaning solutions. From conquering mold and mildew, restoring floors to their former glory, to meticulous post-construction cleanups, washroom sanitizations, and caring for delicate fabrics and upholstery, our comprehensive services covers all your building cleaning needs. Create an environment that boosts productivity and leaves a lasting impression, because clean is not just an appearance, but a performance. Bring your workspace to life with Lewis Industries. Call us at 450-4060 or visit us at www.lewisindustries.ltd.com to schedule your professional cleaning service today.
Advertise to a captive audience. Make your business a star with Choice TV. Call today for your advertising package. Make the right choice. Call 728-9652.
Welcome back. And before we end tonight's broadcast, here's an update. A California woman has donated $1 million to support teachers in a wealthy school district where educators were among the lowest paid in the country. Maya Christine learned that the Ross Valley School District ranked near the bottom in the state funding, despite Marin County being one of the wealthiest counties in the United States. Concerned about the disparity, Christine arranged a surprise meeting on August 13th with about 100 K-8 teachers from the district. The teachers were initially unaware of the reason for the gathering. During the meeting, Christine explained that she wanted to help address the financial challenges facing educators. Principals then distributed envelopes containing individual checks worth $9,161.70. The payments formed part of Christine's $1 million donation to the school district and prompted emotional reactions from the teachers. Some described the unexpected financial support as life-changing and deeply meaningful. The donation highlights how private contributions can provide direct assistance to educators while helping address funding disparities within public school systems. With that, we come to the end of our primetime newscast. On behalf of the entire Choice TV family, thank you for staying with us. Stay tuned for more quality programming on Choice TV.
Enjoy huge savings on selected Nissan models while stocks last.
Contact Peter & Company Auto today at 458-6950.
Wardrobe sponsored by Charmaine Freeman Designs.
Good evening. Welcome to the Shamak Show. I am your host, Shamak Leo. And guess what? Vive la Rose! Vive la Rose de corps!
Vive la Rose, Mama la Rose! Vive la Rose!
This evening we have a researcher, Kentinra Louis, a cultural researcher. And this evening she's going to give us some information on the flower festivals of St. Lucia. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, and vive la rose to you as well.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I am great, loving the season, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did you become a researcher?
I've always been fascinated to understand why we do what we do. And of course, I'm involved in the arts. And when I try to find out where do we get our creativity from, our innovation from, it comes back to our culture.
Yes.
And then going throughout the region, I realized that some of our elements are very similar when you think of masquerade. Every country has masquerade.
Yes, yes.
But in St. Lucia, one of the things that we have that are uniquely ours are the flower societies and their festivals.
Nice.
So that's where that fascination grew, you know, why this?
Okay.
How did it become something that's been going on for over 200 years?
Okay, now you're saying 200 years.
Yes.
Tell me and my viewers, where did the La Rose, the flower festival started? Where did it originated from?
So based on the research I've done and what I've looked at, it is really from our African ancestry. That's where it really starts off. And of course, that has merged with some European elements. And so some of the things you see now, the connection to the church, the celebration on the 30th of August, as well as for Margaret on the 17th, that's the European elements coming in. But the colors, the drums, the dancing, the seances, that's part of our African ancestry.
In case somebody's looking, what do you mean the seance, meaning the activity?
Right, so one of the main activities happens on evenings in the community, where the members of the society as well as the wider community come together to celebrate.
Okay.
And so when you get there, you usually there's a table in the middle, and on the table you will have the flowers and sweets and other things there. You'll have your drummers, your shack, everything else there. Of course, there's always food and drink, and your shotwells. VGS is something that everybody should go to. The songs, the singing, the dancing, the jokes, it's a wonderful activity.
Laros, when you really look at it, it's something that actually brings the community together.
It brings the community together, and contrary to popular belief, they don't just come together in August. It's a way of life.
Wow.
So I've been following for this year